Hey guys, in this video I'm just going to do a really quick comparison between Madeira thread, Coats thread, and Simthread with the embroidery machine. I'm going to be using my Brother Innovis VE2200 and I am going to just use a towel from Walmart and we'll get started. Alrighty, so I did save each name in a different color. We're going to do Madeira, Coats, Simthread. Now we're going to stitch them out in that order. We are going to change threads in between each one because I'm going to use the black Madeira for this, I'm going to use the black Coats for this, and the black Simthread for this, okay? And I just did them in all different colors so that I would be sure that once I save this, that Embroidery doesn't think that this needs to all be one stitch, because I want it to be 3 separate stitches or 3 separate colors. So now I will move to the next step. Now for this, I have already hooped my 5x7 embroidery hoop, and I am using classic tearaway stabilizer. And then I am going to use just an old towel that I don't mind losing for the sake of testing. I am going to top it with some water soluble stabilizer. This is the Solvay type. And then of course I am going to use Madeira thread for the black thread. Where is the Madeira name at? It's in there somewhere. Okay, can you tell that that says Madeira? Okay, and then this is the Coats, which is almost gone, but this is the Coats. And then this is the Simthread, which doesn't actually have a brand name on the bottom of it, but it was in the Simthread box. So that is what I'm going to be using, are those 3 threads. And I'll get the towel floated. I'm just going to float it and I'm going to pin it down. Okay, so I have it on the hoop and I have it pinned down with the water soluble stabilizer on top of it. So now I'm going to go to the machine. Okay, so for this I am going to be stitching out using my Brother VE2200, also known as the Dream Maker, and I'm going to start off with that Madeira. Then I've got the Coats coming up afterwards, and then the Simthread will be last. So let's get started with the Madeira. I'm gonna just hit pause real quick so I can pull that string out of the way, and I'll get some scissors and clip that. Alrighty. And so the total is about a 19-minute stitch out on this machine, and I do have it slowed down. But I'll just let that stitch out and we'll check back with the next color. So now the Madeira thread has stitched. I'm going to take the Madeira thread off of the machine and I am going to put the Coats thread on the machine. Alrighty, so I have the Coats on the machine. It is threaded and now it's going to stitch out there. And of course I need to clip that extra thread. Let's see here. Just to get that extra thread out of the way. And the Coats brand is the brand of thread that I started with. Coats embroidery thread is sold at Walmart. Now these big cones I order from Southern Thread on eBay, but people keep telling me Madeira is a good quality thread, so I got some Madeira thread. I do like it. I haven't had a problem with it, but I also haven't had a problem with the Simthread either. So I just figured the best way for me to see how the qualities compare to each other would be to stitch them side by side and then just put them through the test. I know that there are other brands like Ganold, I cannot pronounce that word, and a few others that are very good threads that I have heard about. But I just figured if it works and I don't have a problem with it, I haven't had any complaints about it, I won't go hopping from thread to thread, you know, trying to jump on whichever is the best thread bandwagon. I'm going to stick with what works. Now, don't pay attention to the font because this is just one of those pre-assigned fonts that I'm just using for the purpose of testing this thread. So I'll let that finish stitching out, and then the Simthread will be next. Okay, so the coat is done stitching, and now I am going to use the last one, and that is the Simthread. Okay, so I have the Simthread loaded, excuse the dust, and we're going to hit start. And so far, I haven't had any thread breaks either, as far as the Madeira or the coats is concerned, which I wasn't expecting to, because I usually don't have thread breaks unless, I don't know, every now and then I'll get a bad batch of coats, but that hasn't happened in a while. So I'll just go ahead and let that stitch out, and I'll check back. Alrighty, so it is finishing up now, and that was the last stitch. Cool. So what I'll do now is, of course, I've got to take it off of the hoop, get the stabilizer, the water soluble off of it, and then I should have used the tighter font for this, but what I want to see how it fades and how the color holds up. So I'm going to get the stabilizers off of it, and I'm going to wash it. Okay, so this is how it looks off of the machine. I got most of the stabilizer off of it. There's a little bit of water soluble here and there, but it will come off in the wash. So that's the front. That is the back. And next step is to wash it. Alrighty, so at this point I am going to put the towel into the washer. I am going to add some Clorox bleach and some Arm & Hammer laundry detergent because I want to wash this to see if any of that thread will fade or look less shiny, and so we'll just see what happens. And it did wash up, and so far it still looks pretty good. It's wet, but it looks good. We're going to let it tumble dry in the dryer just like we would any other towel that we would wash. And we are almost to the finish line. Okay, so we're back to the Madeira, the coats, and the Simthread. The towel has been washed with bleach and some Arm & Hammer laundry detergent. And honestly, bring it up into the light. None of it faded, which it shouldn't have. I wasn't expecting it to, because we're using a polyester thread, but time will tell, you know, with the constant use of the Simthread. And you know, Madeira and coats have pretty much proven themselves, and I don't know how new Simthread is, but I haven't had a problem with it. A few people have asked me if I noticed any difference or if it bleeds or anything, and polyester thread is not supposed to bleed. That's why I like polyester thread. You do have to be careful sometimes with high temps, it will melt, but for the most part the polyester threads are all I use, and I haven't had a problem with this so far. Now, just because I know the reputation of Madeira, I will probably still try to merge all of my thread to just Madeira thread. Coats, I haven't had a problem with coats, other than the fact that there's only one place that I have been able to find coats embroidery thread in my area, and they don't always have the colors that I need. So Madeira, I know a couple of places where I can get whatever color I need on that color card, and that's ideal. The Simthread, I bought this off of Amazon, didn't have a problem with it. I still don't have a problem with it, and I will use it. I just wanted to test it and see, you know, how it holds up compared to each other. So tell me what you all think, and I think I spelled that wrong. I think there's an S after that M. Okay, so no, it does not have an S after the M. It's just Simthread. Okay, so anyways, that is all I have for you all. When it comes to embroidery thread, everybody's machines are going to be different. Everybody is going to have their own opinion about what type of thread is best for them. My only advice, and you know, I do a lot of embroidery. I've been doing this for a few years. I just don't record a whole lot, but my best advice would just be to figure out what works best for you and your machine. The coats I've not had too many problems with, and because I was able to get it locally, I had no problem just getting it. But when I stopped being able to get all the colors that I needed, it's like, okay, let's see what else is out there. But I definitely will probably start merging all of my threads to Madeira, simply because I am doing more embroidery for other people, and I don't want to take a chance at either not being able to get the colors that I need, or having somebody tell me that over time that the thread is not working out for them, you know, with the repeated washes and everything. But anyways, take care, and I'll see you all in the next one.